TEC's ounce of prevention can be your pound of cure. Hello, I'm Beth Matlock, Senior Materials Engineer for TEC's Material Testing Division. Our Materials Testing Division offers state-of-the-art portable diffractometers to measure residual stress and retained austenite. Residual stress is the stress that remains in your part after all external loads are removed. It is developed during the manufacturing process and during service history. So, for example, when you're casting or forging or machining or welding or shop peening, any of these processes will change the residual stress in your part. What we find is that some stresses are detrimental and some stresses are beneficial. So what we want to do is to find those detrimental stresses before they produce a failure and turn them into beneficial stresses so your part will last. We also measure retained austenite. Retained austenite is a phase in steel. It's very critical to applications where there are tight dimensional tolerances, such as bearings. The measurement of retained austenite by Xray diffraction is the preferred technique because we can measure retained austenite in amounts less than 10 or 15%. In fact, for aerospace applications, there are often specifications for less than 8% and sometimes even less than 3%. What we can do is identify the potential for failure during the manufacturing process and before your product goes into service. The Xray diffraction technique is a good non-destructive technique for measuring your part before, during, and after service. It can also be an excellent process control, quality control tool. We can also use it to validate designs. We also offer 9 robust algorithms for doing peak fitting, so you have your choice of how you would like your precise data to be analyzed. MAX was actually developed through an SBIR program for the Air Force. They needed a small device that would go into hard-to-access locations on aircraft so that they could actually get some measurements done without dismantling the aircraft to see if the part was any good or not. We're now on the 3rd generation of this development process, and we've gone to the multiple exposure technique, in which we can now do not only residual stress very precisely, but we can also measure retained austenite. So this is going to be a very valuable product for the industry. The nice thing about it is extremely portable. So if you need to get into not only hard to access locations, but if you're at a remote site, for example on a flight line, you can take 2 briefcase-sized cases along with a laptop computer, and you have everything you need to run MAX. MAX can give you measurements within a couple of minutes, and they're every bit as precise as what you would find in a laboratory type diffractometer. So you can get very fast measurements out in the field. You don't have to dismantle your system to see if the part's going to survive service or not. TEC is a high-tech company. We've been supplying simple solutions to complex problems for 40 years.